Hello everybody, it's me, Trisha Shinko. I am your spiritual intuitive healer and emotional wellness coach from innerbuddha.ca. And today we are going to have our December 14th weekly energy reading. Check it into the energy, check it into the guides. Let's look into this and see what we can get out of this, how we can make the most out of this week, and what we actually should be doing to get the best week possible, right? Because when I started tapping into the energy, the first thing that came to me was almost like an ebb and flow, kind of like a tide when it goes in and out, right? I felt like emotions could be riding a little bit high this time of year, especially this week. But it's all about embracing them and not resisting them and not making yourself feel guilty for or shameful or whatever it is for feeling a certain way. Like a lot of the times if you feel frustrated and you don't really have any reason to feel frustrated, you're just having a rough day, and then you feel guilty for it almost. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to. You don't have to feel guilty. You can just simply say, you know what, I feel really shitty today. I don't feel good. And that's okay. I'm just going to let it play out and see what happens, right? And that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of the times we fight it and we want it to stop or we want it to change in some way, but it's actually there to be released and maybe to teach you a little something along the way, right? We always forget that. And I'm here to remind you that emotions are going to happen and that's okay. It's just all about being okay with it. The more okay you make any emotion, the easier it's going to be to go through it, right? And the biggest thing too is communicate with the people around you. Because that's the thing. A lot of the times people can tell that you're feeling a little off or you may have a bad day. But then they ask you, are you okay? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Just leave me alone, right? Just to be like, yeah, I feel like crap. And I'm just going to feel this way. It's a different energy. You feel different the way if you just snap at them and push them away, chances are you're going to feel guilty for that later. You're going to feel bad for brushing them off or pushing them away, right? You just, as hard as it is, might be just a matter of breaking a habit. And I find that's usually what it is it's just a habit of trying to put on the brave face and tough it out, and you don't have to, right? And right now, the energy that we're building for this time of the year is rolling over into 2021. So I want you to be very conscious of that. And so do your guides. Your guides and your angels, I asked them to come in prior to this video starting. And I asked them to, give me the messages that we need to hear and how to make it through the energy that we're experiencing right now in the best possible way. So what really came through was just feel the feels, feel the emotion, and whatever it is, anxious, scared, frustrated, and happy, whatever it is, just embrace it and be okay with it, because it is okay. All right. And the biggest thing too is just don't overanalyze it or judge it. I know I had a problem with that. I would overanalyze and judge basically anything I did. I would pick it apart and look for the meaning. Some things were just there to be there. There was actually no meaning behind it. And then of course some had stories and meanings. And so it's just a matter of kind of tuning in to whatever it is you're going through, and embracing it. So like I said, this is the time to really just let go of all the baggage, everything that you've kind of built up through this year and past years, whatever you've been bringing through from previous years. Now is the time to release that. And look at things, look at triggers in your life. That's what I can start there, is looking at the trigger, what triggers you, what annoys you, what frustrates you, what gets under your skin, right? These are things that you actually should be looking at instead of just ignoring and brushing off, because these are the things you don't want to carry through to next year, right? And this week is a very powerful week, very energetically powerful, I might add. So it's all about being in the best vibration possible and raising that. And if you need a little help doing that, actually coming up this weekend is my meditation class that I'm going to be teaching on Saturday. So it's a live virtual meditation class. It's going to be this weekend, December 19th. And this meditation is really very, very simple, but very, very effective. It's all about just breathing, relaxing, and raising the vibration, raising your frequency, raising that feeling you have inside, and stepping out of all the heaviness, all of the baggage, everything that you've been carrying around with you. It is time to let that go. So if that's something you're interested in, you can click on the link below. It is in the notes. Or just go to www.innerbuddha.ca/meditation and sign up there. You can register for our class there. It's $22, super cheap, 45 minutes to just completely let go, unwind, and relax. Nothing wrong with that, right? Okay, so I'm going to get into the cards, but before I do, I had to look through my notes because I get distracted sometimes. Okay, so it's also time to set intentions. Intentions are big because whatever you plan on getting out of 2021 or beyond, it all starts with a goal, right? Goals are how you know where you're going. You have an idea of your direction. If you don't know where your direction is, sometimes you might just get unexpected things, right? So it's more likely to get what you want if you know what you want, right? So I'm asking you right now to get a little bit more familiar with what it is that you do want, right? So your guides, what they want you to know is they want you to look at how you want to feel. What do you want to experience? What do you want to learn? What do you want to teach? What do you want to create in 2021? Take a look, maybe journal, getting in touch with what it is that you really want. If there's a hobby or something that you've, really, really lights you up, that makes you really feel good, and you haven't done it in a while, maybe that's something you want to take a look at again, kind of get back into and create those emotions that are going to raise you up to make you feel good. And the more you feel good, the more attracting you are going to be to things that are good, right? Like attracts like. There's no doubt about that. Law of attraction, the vibration that you're at is the experiences that you're going to attract with those vibrations, right? So really getting in tune with where you're vibrating at. That is huge, right? If you don't know where you're vibrating, take a look at your emotions. Your emotions are the ones that tell you what's going on. And if you don't like what your emotions are, take a look at your thoughts, because that's where it all begins. It's the thoughts that create the emotions create the experience. That's as simple as I can possibly get it. I can get very, very complex with those 3 steps, but thoughts, emotions, and your reality, really, it's your experience. Okay, so I'm going to pull out Work Your Light from Rebecca Campbell. We're going to pull out our deck and we're going to take a look at the messages that are going to come through this week, what your guides want you to know, what you need to identify, areas that in your life that you may need to work on, what kind of energy are you stepping into? Is it masculine? Is it doing, like constantly always go, go, go? Or is it feminine, where it's nurturing and loving and caring and taking the time for yourself and, nourishing your body and giving yourself what you need, right? There's 2 sides to everything. And it's maybe just paying attention to what side of the scale you're falling on. And if you're falling on one side too much, then it's just about just leaning towards the other way and asking for more guidance that way. Okay, so cards are popping out already, so that's cool. Okay, we got 2 cards. Ooh, these ones are good. And I'll ask for one more out of this deck. We'll start with 3. Here we go. Okay. So the first card that came up here was Akasha. So the Akasha is your guidance is divinely guided. Yeah, your guidance is divinely guided. So the Akasha is more like the Akashic fields, like that realm of knowledge, of knowing, of kind of connecting to that other part of you, that higher part of you that gives you all the answers that you possibly need, right? Knowing that any guidance that you do get, it is intentional for you. You are meant to get it, whether you see it as good or as bad. There's good criticism and there's constructive criticism, you know, and the universe uses that too. So this is a reminder that there's a lot of knowledge to be had just by tapping into your higher self. And I'm going to look into the book and see what it actually says for this, because I'm interested to see what she... Okay. I think it would be in order. 112. I'm always interested to see. I love Rebecca Campbell's explanations for things and the way she describes things and the guidance that she gives. It's really bang on, I find. So that's why I love reading from this book here. So 112 is Akasha, so your guidance. So Akasha exists in the 5th dimension. It's the library of souls, right? So that part of you that keeps a story. It's a story. It's a story that of you that you can tap into at any time. So it says all soul contracts, histories, gifts, lessons, and more exists in this area, right? We have access to this information of the past, present, and future, and we can tap into it at any time. Now this is big. And I also actually have a couple podcast episodes. If you want to check out Inner Buddha's Zen Entrepreneurs podcast, I forget what episode it is, but if you scroll through, there is an episode on Akashic Records. There's one that I did recently with Emily Harrison, which is amazing. She is from the Akashic Academy. But then a couple episodes before that, I actually took you through a guided meditation to take you into the records. So if you want to tap into that, check into my podcast. So it's the Inner Buddha's Zen Entrepreneur podcast. That's when you want to look at. Okay, so it says, while we have free will, there are also many points of our timelines of our lives that are predestined or pre-planned. Our soul contracts or agreements that are made before incarnating here. And it could be a company that you chose to work for, could be a relationship that you plan to have, it could be a person you agreed to mentor or to help. Whatever it is, know that it is divinely guided and it will not pass you by. If you are waiting for a sign to proceed, this card is it. So if you are in a place where you've been kind of not too sure if you should proceed, you know, this is something you're really excited about, this is something that you really wanted to do, but you never really saw a way of doing it, this is the time to now start imagining yourself doing it and looking at, instead of saying, oh, I can't do that, look at how can I? That is a huge shift. Just that is changing all of the words can't into how can I? Knowing that is so important. Okay, so if you are waiting for a sign, this is it. You are likely living out an important part of your soul's journey, and you are exactly where you need to be. This is very exciting indeed. It is a time to call in the support of your helpers, both physical and spiritual worlds. Trust the signs that are coming and take note of your dreams. Take notice of any feelings or visions that you receive, for you are tapping into the wisdom of the Akasha, and you are being given the go-ahead to proceed. How freaking exciting is that, right? Like, if you were sitting there wondering, what should I do, or if I should do this, or I wonder if this would work out, how would you ever know until you try, right? That's what I always say is, you know what, even if I fail, there's no such failing because I've tried it. So it didn't work. great. What's next, right? What else is possible? Living from that place, living from a place of, you know, just being open to how things evolve and come together, that is going to give you so much life experience, so much more joy, so much more excitement than sitting back and being so scared to take any moves on anything and then regretting it because the time has passed or the opportunity is gone, right? We don't like that. So the next card that came out was Unbound. Unbound. So releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Now this is a lot to do with the work that I'm actually doing with my awakening coaching clients right now. So right now, my awakening coaching is actually all about doing the inner work, right? Doing the inner work, releasing, well, identifying those karmic patterns and then releasing those karmic patterns. And a bonus, just so you know, this week, so December 14th to 18th, I still have some spots available for my free coaching. So that's 1 hour of one-on-one with me. So we get to work together to figure out what it is in those karmic patterns that are coming up, how is it getting in your way, and then we can release them as well. So it's all about just facing whatever it is that's happening in your life, seeing it for what it really is and stepping through it and moving on, right? No more getting stuck, no more getting frustrated, you know, letting go and being free and being able to create the story that you want. That is the most important part, right? So being unbound, releasing those soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So sometimes it's all about even just being aware that you have these contracts, that there are these karmic patterns, these things that keep coming up, these bad relationships that you have, these jobs that you can't seem to keep, or, you know, there's things in your life that just keep coming up and you don't understand why. But the thing is, you don't do anything about it and you let it kind of sweep it under the rug for a bit, but the rug gets bumpy. It's gonna come through, right? And that is just a reminder of that. So Unbound, let's connect to this. It is on page 108. And also, what I would love for you to know is that I would love for you to, if you are resonating with these messages or if you're connecting with these in any way, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I would love for you to also leave a message or a comment about your takeaways. Like, I love hearing from you guys. So please feel free to communicate with me. That's what I'm here for. So Unbound, releasing these karmic patterns. So it is time to release these old soul stories that have been playing out of your life. They are coming up to be healed. There's never been a safer time to clear these patterns than right now. And I can assure you that, because I myself have been doing that, and it has been feeling good, so good to just get into this place of, you just go through and face whatever it is that's bothering you. And then not only face it, but then go down to the root and just rip it out, right? Those are the most satisfying moments, because then you feel so free and then it's light and you have room for anything else to come in, right? So take a look at these patterns in your life that are ready to be released. Ancient vows, contracts, or a soulmate that has an expiration date. It could be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. Maybe that's why you've been having problems with your finances, right? You may have made a vow of poverty in a past life as a nun or a Buddhist monk, or who knows, right? These vows are carried forth with you in every single contract until you break them, or, you know, just allow them to be released. And it's just a matter of just catching it in your own patterns, noticing them and releasing them, right? So it is time to unwind from them. This is a life in which you are free. You're freeing yourself from past trauma and past lives. The old ways of being have an expiration date. When you name them, you claim them, and they stop holding the power over you. So just observing them and saying, you know what, maybe this pattern has been because of this vow, or this, whatever it is, the contract that you have to break, right? So it takes a little bit of diving in, being honest with yourself, and then releasing them. It can happen. Trust me. And if you need help, I'm here to help you. You can always reach out to me. So the old ways of doing things. So for example, it says that a soul pattern of playing small causes a soul to fear of being seen or sharing your voice. And how would that serve you by keeping you safe? In order to grow, you need to be softened and receiving the call of calling in for support. So you have to call in for support. You need that help and guidance. That's what your angels and guides are there to do, and those around you. So it is time to unbind yourself from those old ways of being, and that are no longer sustainable, because they're not holding you down anymore. They're not serving you any purpose in this life, right? With this life, you kind of need a lot of money to move forward or buy that house, or have that job that you really want, and not have to work hard for it anymore, right? So it's just a matter of connecting with that. Okay, so the last card that came out was the Pleiades. The Pleiades, that's interesting. So it says there's a double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So this card wants you to just be aware that this is a part of the awakening right now. This is what we're doing. You see all these people that are rising up. That's what we're doing with our consciousness right now. Right now, we were right here in the 3-dimensional place. We're moving up to the 4th dimension and then to the 5th, right? That's just like a progression. It's like a hologram. You could kind of see it like a hologram, right? And we are here this is a card just to remind you that we are here to not only live our own soul patterns out, but also to uplift humanity as well. We are here as conduits of light. The more light that you hold in your body, the more ripple effect that you're going to have with everyone else around you. And this is big, because the more light that you shine gives others permission to do the same. And a lot of people, they don't know how to do it. So maybe that's something that you want to teach them. If you're a little bit aware of how to shine your light, it's basically just be who you are, right? Connect with whatever it is that makes you happy the most and allow that part of you to shine. So if that's painting, or if that's creating furniture, or if that's cooking or baking, or being just a mother, right? You don't have to do anything special. Just be you. That's the whole mission. And people tend to overlook that. When I work with people and they're looking for their life purpose, they make it so big and so out there that they can never achieve it. But really, it's just coming back into being exactly who you were meant to be. Playing off those childhood fantasies that you used to play as a child, right? When I was a kid, I used to play school all the time. I was always a teacher. I was always teaching, right? And now look at me. I'm here sitting in front of you, teaching you all the stories and everything that I know, right? So it's just a matter of understanding what you really want to do in your life and then doing it. Giving yourself permission to move ahead and do what you actually want to do, right? It's also knowing that you don't have to wait for anyone to give you the go ahead either. You are the one who chooses to take that step, and you're the only one that's going to do it. So just know that nobody's going to give you the permission that you want. It's you that has to do it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go break into, I have my sacred geometry deck out. This is for activations. This I only pull out when I feel that there's like a big change coming around. And I don't know if you heard people talking about the 21st of December being, there could be anything that can happen. Energy is going to shift and change. Well, I'd say that you can just tap into your own self instead of listening to everyone out there. Sometimes it's better just to kind of tap into yourself and see what you're feeling and experience it from your point of view instead of somebody else's point of view, right? These videos are great. These are guidance. These are kind of indicators into that direction that you need to go. but I can't do the work for you, right? I can only guide you to where the work is going to begin for you. Okay, so I want to know what it is this week that we need to activate within ourselves to get the best out of this week, get the most out of this week, right? What is it that needs to activate? This one. Whew. Interesting. Okay, so what do we need to activate to get the best out of this week? Universal love. That's it. Universal love. That heart chakra. Open that space of you, that center part of you, that place where you receive and give love. That's what needs to happen. Okay, so it says the frequency of universal love activates the connection that we feel to each other, which is huge, to our planet and to the whole of existence itself. So the number 44 in numerology, so 4 is a very stable number. It's, if you think of it, it's got 4 points, right? It's a solid foundation, right? So 44 is doubling that power, right? So the stable feeling that you're going to get, if you want to stay stable and grounded this week, surround yourself with love. It's even just like a cloak, a blanket. Imagine it in your aura. Fill up your aura. Your aura is just the bubble around you, right? The energy field that you give off. Fill that with love. And I want you to really just tune in to yourself in this place and allow this part of you to actually open and activate. You can even say to yourself, heart, hope and space, love, unconditional love space, please open up and activate so that I can feel love too. I can give love freely and receive love freely. It's that ebb and flow. Oh my gosh, that's the connection right there. It's the universal. Right when I started this video, I was talking about those waves, those ebb and flow, those waves of emotion, right? To get through those waves of emotion is going to be that universal love that you tap into. And that is right here. That is you, right? So even if you need to meditate and put your hands over your hearts, and in order to activate this, you can also listen to meditation music, which is 432 hertz. 432 hertz is the sound of love vibration. You can also listen to meditations, which are 528 hertz, which is a DNA activation. So both of those, I would suggest doing that this week to help you to get through everything that you're going to be experiencing. And if you have a great week, then you've probably done a lot of the work already, right? So congratulate yourself and enjoy those moments of bliss and happiness and joy. Yes, that feels really, really good. Okay, so universal love, tap into that Akashic field, into that place of knowing, that knowledge. And it could be as easy as just starting to write a journal. Just start writing out thoughts. Write down your questions that you have, and the more detailed the message, the more detailed the question that you write down, the more detailed of an answer you're going to get, right? And that's just connecting with your higher self, right? That's just it. So I definitely encourage you to do that and tap into that love, universal love language. If you need help with the love language, or even connecting to that energy, opening that heart, you can always message me for a Reiki healing. So Reiki healings are great to open up all your chakras, get you aligned, get you into that place where you can connect to that energy a lot more easier as well, right? So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. That is what I'm here for, to help you through this entire journey. All right. Yeah, so I'm just gonna, before I wrap up, I wanted to, let me see here, sorry. I wanted to get one more deck. What is it? Yep, here we go. To find it. For crystals. We are gonna find a crystal for this week to help us through the energy this week, to kind of tap into it and to get the best out of it, because that's what I want you to do, is just to make the most out of this week and to get through it in the most positive and beneficial way for yourself. So before I go, I'm gonna get a card, and it also has a little affirmation on the back, which is always good. So what crystal can we carry with us? Do we need to have with us to make the best we connect with that universal love energy, right? This is interesting. This is not popping out. Usually they just come out. There we go. Woohoo! Kunzite. Kunzite. I don't know if you can see it there. This is a beautiful crystal. So it says, are you searching for more love in your life? Maybe we might be looking for universal love, right? Look within yourself. Didn't somebody say that? Embrace the love that resides within you. Allow it to radiate all around you. Become a magnet for love, light, and well-being. And these gifts will come to you. How freaking cool is that? So I don't know about you, but Kunzite isn't really a crystal that I personally have on hand. I have many types of crystals, but Kunzite is a new one to me. And the back, it says Angel of Love. So I am love, and all that surrounds me and all that is attracted to me is love. I look within and love all the aspects of myself as I am. That's big. I attract love, joy, happiness into my life, and I am comforted. So if I can leave you with any kind of advice, it's just love on you. Love on yourself this week, and every week really. But Kunzite is a very beautiful crystal. Maybe it's something that you might want to pick up. It's a very big love one. Okay, so that's it for me this week. I hope that you connected to this message. If you got something out of it, like I said, I would love to hear your feedbacks. Please, please, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. So important. And so that other people can also get this great messages as well. And if they connected to it, great. That's all I want to know. So I send you so much love and so much light, and thank you so much for being here today. And I will see you again very, very soon. Mwah! Much love.